Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm excited for this webinar, the first of the year of 2026, because this session is designed specifically for you, our frontline sales leaders that use SalesScreen every day. I'm Kaylin Kless, and I'm one of our customer success managers here at SalesScreen. And today we're going to be looking back at 2025 together, sharing some insights on what our most successful teams learned through using the platform, and giving you a little preview of where we're headed for 2026. So 2025 has been a tough year for managers, for everyone really. Teams are bigger, expectations are higher, coaching time is squeezed into hallway conversations or random Slack pings between meetings, and you're responsible for performance across more people, more activities, and more moving parts than ever before. So this quote came from a real conversation with a customer. We had all the data, we just didn't know which data mattered on any given Tuesday. And this captured the exact tension that we heard from dozens of teams and their leaders. Having data wasn't really the problem. It was knowing what to do with it in that exact moment. And that is the gap that SalesScreen is trying to help you close. And in 2025, we noticed something interesting. Some teams were primarily using SalesScreen as a scoreboard, as a way to check performance at the end of the week, maybe recognize the highest performers and compare to a quarterly goal. But others started using it more like a steering wheel, making small adjustments in real time as the activity shifted, celebrating smaller wins that contributed to higher performance, and keeping the focus on current activities that needed priority right then. So the difference wasn't talent or effort, it was just how early they were able to act on the information that they had. So over the past year, we've focused on one core goal, helping managers turn visibility into action and action into more consistent performance. That focus is shaping everything we're building going forward. But before we look at what's coming next for 2026, let's take a look at some of the features we released last year in 2025 that are already helping us get to this goal. Last year, we released our player profile. This is the home base for all things SalesScreen, designed to enhance both user and manager experiences by centralizing key insights and tracking. We love the player profile because it allows reps and managers to keep tabs on progress towards goals, but also their engagement with the platform and with the rest of their team. And the best part is that there's no setup required. Everything that happens in the platform is aggregated here. So all you have to do is take a look at that player profile, wait for the magic to happen. It's all coming in there automatically. As a manager looking to get a quick view of a rep's progress, you'd only really need to go to the ongoing tab, which combines a clear view of tasks, KPI progress, coaching, and competitions. But if you really want to dig in further to get an idea of where your rep is headed and what you might need to coach them on, key metrics provide real-time performance tracking on any of those objectives that you have designated as being the most important to your company or maybe to that player's individual team. Game stats and coaching pages offer quick access to gamification and coaching timelines, so you can get some great insight into their engagement and adoption across the platform and see maybe which of these initiatives are helping them be motivated and increase their productivity. Within the profile, you can also compare performance data with other reps. You can add rep scorecards, and of course, user insights powered by Scout is also a tab on the profile if you have Scout enabled in your platform. In terms of visibility and insight, this is a massive update for both individual reps and their managers. A small but definitely mighty update we delivered last year was our brand new global pages for battles and missions, which we'll actually talk about a little bit more later because missions are also new from 2025. These new pages make it easier to understand what's happening at a glance in the battles and missions features, and they drive higher adoption across teams. And these are two areas that you really want your players to be taking advantage of because battles and missions are two places that they can initiate the action themselves. They get to choose when to start a mission. They get to choose when to challenge somebody to a battle. They don't have to wait for a manager on that. So making it really easy to access is great. And with the new global pages, you can see who is participating, you can see where they stand, and the overall team leaderboards. And we definitely find that the teams that leverage the entire platform through battles and through missions see a greater engagement across the board with the platform, boosting productivity and results. So, speaking of results, we're coming back to missions. One of the most meaningful shifts we saw last year was in goal execution, which made us really happy. That's exactly what we created missions for and what we were hoping to see. Missions allow an individual user to publicly declare goals that they intend to meet, which the rest of the team can follow as they work, as well as send congratulations and coins when they complete the mission. So missions don't just track progress, they're changing behavior. They're giving reps control over how they pursue their targets. They help break large outcomes into focused, achievable actions. And the sense of ownership that creating the mission gives them increases their follow through. And that has big results. We saw that teams that actively use missions see a 10% increase in target attainment. But that makes a lot of sense when you understand that when goals are made visible, aka publicly committed to, accountability shifts. The momentum builds, and what used to feel like pressure starts to feel like progress. So, why does it work? Well, progress stays visible. Missions are front and center on the player profile. They're also in the feed. They'll also pop up in the screens if you have those enabled in your office. So, you're not just waiting for them to come out buried in end of the month reports. Because your rep is setting up their mission for themselves, they know exactly what to work on today. It gives them the autonomy to complete their mission how they want to while still being accountable to the goals that they stated. And because missions are so public, managers can spot momentum or friction early on and adjust. You can call out goals that are maybe a little bit too lofty or not quite lofty enough. And it gives insight for managers to see what reps are prioritizing so that they can guide and encourage. And of course, the proof is in the pudding. We mentioned it already, but it is so important to reiterate that the teams using missions are seeing a 10% lift in target attainment. Of course, we would be remiss not to talk about one of our biggest launches of the year, which was Scout AI. We saw that one of the biggest time sinks for managers was pulling reports that often still didn't answer simple questions that they needed the answers for. And we wanted to provide something that could take that high volume of data and surface clear trends and offer some actionable next steps. So Scout continues to evolve as your in-platform performance guide, and we've been doubling down on what matters most to managers, which is insights and direction. And we'll talk more about how we're improving the Scout experience in 2026 later in the presentation, but just a review of what Scout can currently do for you right now. First, Scout operates at 3 levels. So user insights give you a per rep intelligence on activity trends, on skill gaps, and coaching recommendations. Then your team insights reveal team level patterns, and department insights provide cross-team visibility. So territory comparisons, organization-wide health signals. These insights live in the user, team, and department profiles for managers to look at any time, so you can always keep a pulse on what's happening across your users, teams, and the entire organization. If you have Scout in your account, then you know that Team Insights includes Scout suggestions. So Scout suggestions are automated next steps based on your team's performance that managers can activate with just the click of a button. So every suggestion ties back to a performance signal and it brings it to a specific recommended action. So if call volume has dropped, Scout suggests starting a mission focused on raising that number. If the close rate is trending up, you might give the user whose rate's trending up an endorsement. If a new hire is ramping up fast, it might suggest giving them a stretch goal. So this is direction. It's not just data. Because ultimately, we know that managers care about 3 things. They care about coaching prioritization, figuring out who needs help, who needs attention, and who needs it right now. They need early warning signals. They need to be able to catch problems before they become crises. And they need to scale what works. You need to be able to find out what your best reps are doing differently from the others and then replicate that across the entire team. And Scout addresses all 3 of these. So just as a recap, today, Scout helps you identify performance patterns across teams and individuals. It helps you surface gaps early before results slip. And you can get Scout suggestions that recommend where to focus, what to reinforce, and what to adjust. The goal is simple: less time interpreting the data and more time acting on it. So, bringing our 2025 to a close, we saw that our most successful teams turned visibility into action. Missions drove measurable results, Scout guided manager focus, and our redesigned pages made team management faster. And the player profile gives everyone a centralized home base for themselves. This is what we're doubling down on in 2026. So for 2026, we are looking at strategic evolution. Everything we did in 2025 led to a shift. Managers stopped asking for things like more dashboards and they started asking different questions. How do I feel more confident in my decisions? We have some ideas to help with that. First is initiatives. So you can think of initiatives as the next evolution of gamification at SalesScreen. It's intelligent, gamified campaigns that combine Scout's performance intelligence with the competitive mechanics that we've always had in the platform. So instead of managers manually designing gamification campaigns, so saying what competition could run in tandem with what new achievement, etc., Scout will identify what behavior needs to change and then auto-generate the right elements to work together to hit your goal. This is going to save not only time for managers in setting up those various gamification elements, but it will also help with the mental bandwidth. Just letting Scout generate a new competition, achievement, some battle and mission ideas to keep things fresh and exciting for your team. And that weight is off of your shoulders. You just need to approve it and then execute the plan. So initiatives will work by leveraging Scout AI-powered targeting to ensure every initiative addresses a real performance gap. It'll auto-generate campaigns to take the manual work out of competition design, and it'll use impact tracking to show ROI in real time. We'll be using continuous optimization, so Scout will get smarter about what works for your team as it gets to know you. The more you use it, the more useful it will become. Our next major focus is getting the manager command center. So this is about removing operational overhead from frontline leadership, and it's about giving time back to managers by giving them easy and immediate access to the most important metrics and activities that are going to move the needle for their team. In 2026, we're building that system. Autopilot competitions, smart alerts, and a single control center. So this is where we want some help from you. We're still figuring out the individual features for the command center. They're still being iterated on and brainstormed. And this is a great opportunity for you to give feedback on what you would want to see in a command center. What's going to be the most helpful thing for you? What are you hoping to see when you open up this page? So please do let us know. Lastly, we will have our executive and value reporting. So this is about helping you prove your impact upward. We've heard from so many managers, I know SalesScreen is working, but I can't prove it to my VP in a way that is accepted. I need some hard data. And so in 2026, you'll be able to. Our new reporting will include ROI dashboards. It will include before and after comparisons and board-ready exports that make the case for your management approach for you with that data that you've been collecting in SalesScreen. In conclusion, 2026 is about manager confidence. Initiatives combine Scout intelligence with smart gamification. The command center automates the routine so you can focus on people, and value reporting proves your impact upward. And of course, we will be continuing to update, optimize, and redefine the entire platform. But every single improvement should answer the same question: what should I do next? That's all, folks. Thank you for your time today. I mean it when I say your success is our roadmap. Everything we're building in 2026 came directly from your feedback, your usage patterns, and your honest conversations with our team members. We're building this for you, and we are so excited to see what you do with it, and we can't wait to show you more.